how to cut out the exact route that's going to actually bring your customers into the experience and help them see the value that you bring to the table before you even start doing business. Hey there, my friends, Dan Deegan here, and I just want to say thank you again. And before we get going, make sure to hit that subscribe button, click the bell, hit the notifications, make sure you're notified when we make new videos because we are doing it weekly, and very soon we're going to move to twice a week. But today, before we get into that, I wanted to talk to you about really your sales GPS, right? How do you map out the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months of your customer's business with you to draw them in, to really give them a sense of, wow, you got my back and you're really looking out for what I'm needing and what my business is needing. How do you do that? And how do you do that starting right now? As we're recording this video, it is November 30th at 1:13 p.m. So we've got December to map this out, to really give our clients the full comfort, the security that we as their professional sales reps has got them. We got them everything they need for 2022. And really, it's as simple as something like this. As we look at this and we say, okay, objective 1, we're going to hit it at this date. Objective 2, objective 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, what you do is you just roll through that. And to give you a very quick example, I'm just going to kind of jot some stuff down on this paper for you, okay? So your starting point is, say, right here with your customer, right? You're starting here. Now, the way you map this out, obviously, is what is the big dream, the big goal, the big idea. Where would your customer be if they reach that mountaintop that they want to get to at the end of 2022? Okay, so in order to do this, in essence, I look at all mapping, whereas on the one side, we ain't got it, and on the other side, we got it. And what are some of the key things that need to change in the interim in order to make that happen, right? Just like this image here. Objective 1. So in between, there's 6 different pieces that need to be accomplished in order to facilitate, to win, to achieve, to overcome, to whatever that is. The goal, the desire, the fear, whatever it is, there's always a map to it. But when we draw the map, you see what happens is, as opposed to saying to a customer right now, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, yeah, okay, let's get you to that. And then kind of just starting and getting the everyday going. Right? Like, how many of you really when we sit down, and I'm in this boat too. I mean, consciously, I have to do this every day. How do we consciously stay aware of what needs to be accomplished and continue to look 2-3 weeks down the road, right? Every day, every night, I map out my agenda for the next day. I go back, I look at my month. I say, okay, if I have an objective by the end of the month, I need to do this, this, and this to reach that objective, or else I'm not going to reach it. So where am I going to plug that in? And the same thing goes with our customers. The same thing goes with our business. Where are we going to plug specials in? Where are we going to plug volume in? Like, all of this matters, right? So if you look at it and you say, okay, in order to get from, and I'll use a couple of different ones here. So this is the timeline that we face, right? And in order to get from where we are to where we want the customer to go, here's our timeline. So all we do, and this seems to have the most ink in it, all we do is, okay, so if this time right here, and call this kind of January, February, if this is a slow time, you just start thinking to yourself, what can I do during their slow time to help achieve that goal? So you've taken 2 months out of the picture. Then what happens down here is when they start speeding up, and now all of a sudden they start speeding up. Okay, what is it that I need to do during their speed up? Do I need to secure capacity? What do I need to do in that case, right? And then if here in the maintenance mode, call it, what are the 3 or 4 objectives that you need to do here? So what you're doing is you're essentially just mapping out your daily, weekly, and monthly to-dos for this customer. But here's the goal that every customer loves, okay? If you look at this picture and you see objective 1 at X date. So what I want you to do, or what I suggest you do, is when we look at this particular picture that you're seeing right now, this picture is an overarching move. So what I've done is in that picture, I created 6 big moves to move that customer towards their goal. But each big move, in essence, all of this would be one big move. All of this would be one big move. All of this would be one big move. And what happens is these things inside here are tasks inside the move, right? So if you are, let's say, the easiest example to give is, because I don't know your specific client's needs, your goals, your desires, but let's take a financial one, right? What I need to do is I need to streamline my logistics costs. Like my cost to door, I need to streamline any which way, shape, or form. So maybe month one, the overarching function is to analyze the complete business strategy. And then in month two, you're saying, okay, in month two, we're going to deploy an 11-month process. And maybe we do 3 months each quarter, or 4 months each, like 4 processes each quarter. So you're deploying it in sections, in bulks, right? And so if you say, okay, after I analyze, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 1, 2, 3 core areas. Just do this. Okay. And I'm going to pick these 4 core areas. And what I'm going to do is your analysis all comes here, right? I'll just put A in for analysis. Your analysis comes here. So then what you're doing is say each quarter, we're going to tackle one of these. Now, in the order in which we can build off of each other, so hypothetically, if you're going through the analysis, right? It's okay, well, you're looking at streamlining costs. The problem is your warehouses are set up all wrong, right? So then you start with the warehouse. Once the warehouses are set up at the end of, you could even call it midway through Q1, and then, kind of data log it for the rest of Q1, whatever it is. Q1, the warehouses. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go from the warehouses, then we're going to tackle your longest hauls and figure out if there's a way, maybe we can move them to rail, maybe we can move them to ocean and go southbound. And there's different options. What we're going to do is we're going to tackle that. This might be the long haul, and these are all the tasks that need to be done in order to fulfill that goal of beating that long haul challenge, okay? And then you might move to inner processes. How do we get paperwork better? How do we streamline drivers coming in and out? How do we do all this? Because this is going to actually be a cost reduction if we can get drivers out of here in half an hour as opposed to 4 hours, right? Whatever those situations may be. And then you block it all out in 4 major blocks. Now, this one obviously has 6 major blocks. In this one, you're going to set a date for each of them. And what you're going to do is, here's the goal that comes with that, okay? Is not only that, when you set this in order, your customer, your team, your management, everybody is on the same path. Everybody understands. In order to meet this first bubble in Q1, guys and girls, we have 3 months to get this done. There's 14 tasks inside this first month. We need to break this out by this. When we accomplish this, what we're going to do is we're going to update the customer. And this is the big key, okay? Update and follow up at every part of the process. If you're coming close to closing out that first goal and objective, update and follow up. Very, very important, because when we give somebody a timeline, it is essential that we follow up with them. Say, hey, listen, just want to let you know we're 90% to our time. And they might say, yeah, absolutely, man, I've been following, no issues, it's all good. But you still follow up because you're giving that power back to the individual, okay? Now, here is a ninja trick that I've used that has actually catapulted my results, and more than that, catapulted word of mouth for what I do, okay? And as everything is accomplished, you give a presentation to the main people in charge about that accomplishment. That could be on Zoom, that could be on Skype, it could be in person, whatever it is. But you give a presentation and you walk through and highlight what you've done, how you've structured it, how you've strategized it out, and what the results were. And then the big secret is 3 questions that follow. Number 1, what did we do right in the implementation and deployment of these strategies? What did we do wrong? And what can we improve on? If you ask those 3 questions at the end of every one of these, now you might have 12 because you might have to accomplish 1 every month, right? I just did a very simple example of 1 a quarter. So every time you have one of these, what do we do right? What do we do wrong? What can we improve on? And you see, if you continue this process with every single customer, I don't care who they are, I really don't care how much volume they have, right? They could have 1 load a month. And you look at it, you say, okay, you're 1 load a month. Here's what we need to do. Maybe we need to break it into 4 LTL shipments instead of 1 truckload to save you money. right? Okay, how do we do that? Well, first block is let's call the customers and make sure they're good with it. Let's initiate transit times, reasonings why this would work. There's your first block. In the first 2 weeks, I'm going to solve this. I mean, it might not take a year to do it, but maybe this is 3 months, maybe it's 2 months, maybe it's a week, maybe it's 2 weeks. Whatever it is, regardless of this timeline between starting point and completion of the goal, create that timeline. Like, even if it is a month, create that timeline, because here's the thing. You create that time, you say, okay, Mr. Customer or Mr. Prospect, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect at this time, in order to accomplish that goal, here's the steps from you ain't got it to you got it. You might want to use better English, but you ain't got it till you got it. And in those steps, here's what we need to accomplish. Do I have your permission to aggressively go at this? Yes, you do. Perfect. And then now you have a buy-in, because the prospect sees the timeline. They see the progression of what needs to happen. So when you ask for something, they're immediately switching it back, just like you would. You immediately switch it back. Okay, if I don't give that, I'm going to ruin that progression, right? They're after these goals for a reason. If you can take, say these were quarters, and you crush them down into 2 a quarter, you know what? I'm going to do even better for you, Mr. and Mr. Prospect. What I'm going to do is, your goal, I see us being able to do it in 6 months, which means for the last 6 months of the year, you're going to reap the rewards of what we're able to do. See, that's powerful sales. But remember, update, follow up, 3 questions. What are we doing right? I almost went the other way. What are we doing wrong? What can we improve on? You see how that would have been totally different if I would have done it the other way? Get that? Okay. What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What can we improve on? Those are the keys, my friend. Simple timeline. Doodle it out on a piece of paper. Open up, fire up PowerPoint, or fire up slides or Keynote or whatever, and just walk through. Just add a couple of circles. And here's the timeline. This is what we're going to do. Save as a PDF and send it to the customer. It's super easy to do. It's just a matter of doing it, figuring what it is. Ain't got it, got it. What is the steps in between, and how can I list out the tasks in those steps for each individual client? That, my friend, is how you secure a ton of business and bring customers into your experience of helping them achieve their goals. Until next time, my friends, remember, go out there, make every call educational, crush your sales, and you're only one sales sequence away. Take care.